NASA gave a fundamental insight. Pluto isn't what you think. What is NASA suggesting here? Are they implying the most recent exposures from the New Horizons space probe, which show that odd things are happening on Pluto's surface? One of the unsafe pictures, in actuality, shows a thing that appears to float across the outer layer of Pluto. This raises upsetting questions about whether some sort of advanced alien life exists on this faraway world, or are we dealing with an unusual geological feature? Pluto might be almost nothing, but the tales it has to tell are gigantic and stacked with surprises. When Pluto's planetary status was denied in 2006, researchers were ignorant of the information from the New Horizons probe, which only arrived at Pluto years later. Since then, we have realized that there is more to this smaller body than was initially thought. How did astronomers come to deny this planet, which we have all, in some way, grown up with? The decision to reclassify it as a dwarf planet came after the discovery of various other small planets in the Kuiper belt. They concluded that we needed a limit for what is a planet and what is a dwarf planet or transneptunian object. Pluto scores points for its size and round shape, but the planet shares its orbit with several other objects, so its orbit is not considered clean. This was the justification for why Pluto was removed from the list of major planets in the solar system. Many people on Earth thought this was a disgrace, and the decision by space experts caused frustration among the general public. Pluto, no longer a planet, was an irritating thought for many. The fact that this small, quirky planet had so many fans on Earth led to letters of protest to NASA from eminent experts who supported the reclassification. In fact, even state-run organizations received letters from frustrated residents asking for Pluto to be reinstated as a planet. This planet had been with us since the 1930s and had been a major part of the development of the 9 planets. It was as though to advance this notion in 2015 when New Horizons sent us the first true image of the Pluto backhoe planet, showing us its charming face. Imagine. It was the first authentic picture of Pluto. If you've seen the planet on charts or in school materials before, they were artistic representations, not real photos. Pluto had even denied the Hubble telescope a clear view of its surface. In a way, New Horizons was allowed to photograph the little one as it truly is: wonderful, well-arranged, undeniably rich, and with a heart. Since then, the planet on the outer edge of the solar system has garnered many more fans, and maybe space experts will change their perspectives one day, and we will get Pluto back. The first real pictures of Pluto took everyone's breath away. It was a magical moment when the initial data from the New Horizons probe arrived at mission headquarters in 2015. Everyone present knew that they were about to see a planet for the first time. One that everyone was somehow familiar with but had never seen up close. The computers on Earth assembled this mesmerizing image from vast amounts of individual pieces and pixels. What the probe uncovered about Pluto was a discovery that completely turned our perception of this faraway planet on its head. Pluto is far more complex, fundamentally more structured, and basically more alive than planetary scientists had previously recognized. In addition, the small planet appeared to be covered in beautiful features, and perhaps much more mysterious geological oddities no one had expected. With each new piece that New Horizons sent back, the dim, puzzling world in the darkness of the Kuiper belt transformed into a massive entity that showed so much life it blew experts' minds. More and more puzzling geological wonders appeared before the scientists. Instead of the stereotypical icy, cratered, no-man's land, Pluto turned out to be a novel place with brilliant patches of ice, deep ravines, and smooth, frozen surfaces. It took years for the myriad data, photographs, and revelations to make the long journey from Pluto to Earth. Since 2015, we have been astounded time and again by new, fascinating aspects of Pluto. Who is that walking on Pluto's surface? It's amazing. This moving image circled the media in 2016. But what could you possibly see here? It looks like a person walking across a strange, honeycomb-shaped snowflake. You can truly see ice formations, but unlike Earth, these frozen surfaces are not made of water. They are made of nitrogen and methane. Scientists identified the strange object as a large chunk of ice, which seems to float over the surface of the ice-covered plain. The massive block of ice is believed to be made of solid nitrogen. These unusual-looking landforms revealed something extraordinary to seasoned experts. They now believe that there is a nitrogen supply several kilometers below Pluto's surface, where the solid blocks form geological formations. The interior of the planet pushes these blocks upwards, creating the honeycombs and fields, like the seemingly wandering mountains. This points to a warm center inside the planet, and this discovery is a clue that could have wide implications for how we interpret Pluto. It's definitely more unique than previously recognized. Land development from heat, alongside changes in surface features, shows a kind of aliveness that suggests we have underestimated Pluto. This smaller body shows some thought and fire within it, which would certainly suggest that there are pockets of liquid inside Pluto that resemble seas or magma. William McKinnon, a geophysicist on the New Horizons mission, even compared the interior presence of the small planet to a remarkably large feature like Hudson Bay in Canada. Virtual simulations showed that this striking scene evolved over centuries and remains incredibly dynamic today. Can you see the distinct X on the right beneath the frozen mass? This feature was likely created by sublimation, a process in which a substance changes directly from a solid to a gaseous state, bypassing the liquid phase. These cycles occur due to the extreme temperatures on Pluto. Complex geological cycles and atmospheric oddities in a dead world. Christmas in the snow on Pluto. Does that sound crazy to you? Well, it's a reality. Pluto truly is a mystery. The New Horizons mission uncovered fascinating aspects of the environment and occasional changes on this planet. Pluto, which orbits in the cold, distant regions of the Kuiper Belt, experiences dramatic seasonal variations due to its remarkable orbit and tilt. The New Horizons spacecraft found that Pluto's atmosphere, a thin layer of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide, changes significantly depending on how close or far Pluto is from the Sun. These changes affect the weather and the surface conditions of the dwarf planet. One particularly fascinating aspect of the weather is snow on Pluto. This involves mostly frozen nitrogen and methane, just like on Earth, where snow forms only from water. The incredibly low temperatures on Pluto cause these more volatile gases, nitrogen and methane, to accumulate and fall as charming snow. All these interactions shape and reinforce Pluto's surface by covering the landscape with new deposits. The disruptions thus drive other geological processes, such as frozen movement and perhaps even cryovolcanic cycles. The New Horizons team also showed that these seasonal cycles are closely tied to atmospheric pressure. When Pluto is closest to the Sun, the faint sunlight is enough to warm up the dwarf planet's atmosphere, causing it to expand slightly. As Pluto moves away from the Sun, the atmosphere freezes and sinks back to the surface. This oddity leads to a striking inconsistency. When Pluto's atmosphere condenses, it could literally snow made of nitrogen and methane. The variations in surface brightness and the distribution of cold deposits further suggest that almost all surface features on Pluto are connected with these atmospheric cycles. Since Pluto's mountains are not made of rock, but of ice, which is far more flexible in this world, the entire surface moves much more than that of our Earth. For example, what does Pluto's heart include? Who would have believed that Pluto's heart isn't just a beautiful warm engraving? Despite its prominent appearance, this region is also one of the most surprising areas on Pluto. Once considered Sputnik Planitia, the region is named after the first artificial satellite, Sputnik 1, launched by the Soviet Union in 1957. This gigantic heart-shaped ice surface stretches over an area of about 1,000 kilometers and is made mostly of nitrogen ice, with traces of frozen methane and carbon monoxide. The bright, nearly perfect surface of Sputnik Planitia forms a sharp contrast to the darker, more complex regions around it. Geographically, Sputnik Planitia is a massive impact structure that was likely later modified by volcanic cycles. Not unlike traditional volcanic activity on Earth, where magma rises from the planet's interior. Cryovolcanism on Pluto involves cold materials rising from the dwarf planet's interior to the surface. The heat sources deep within Pluto cause nitrogen and other volatile substances to warm up and push upward, where they freeze and form unique formations like this one. Sputnik Planitia is remarkably flat, which leads scientists to believe that the frozen surface is continuously renewed by internal cycles. It's likely convection processes inside the ice sheet that shape these features. Scientists believe there might be a range of liquid water beneath the smooth ice sheet of Sputnik Planitia, kept liquid by the heat within Pluto. While scientists aren't certain whether life could exist in this subglacial sea, it's not entirely inconceivable. What role does Charon play? What few knew before the New Horizons mission was that Pluto has its own moon, not just one. Charon is Pluto's largest moon and was discovered in 1978 by the American astronomer James Christie. Charon is quite large compared to Pluto, with a diameter roughly half that of Pluto, leading to a remarkable relationship between the two objects. They are tidally locked, meaning Pluto and Charon always show the same face to each other. Charon's surface is also strikingly different from Pluto's, with vast canyons and enormous impact craters. Scientists believe that Pluto and Charon have been exchanging material in the form of comet-like objects. While Pluto's surface is a frozen wonderland of nitrogen and methane, scientists suspect that there may be more happening beneath the icy crust. As New Horizons revealed, Pluto's interior may be much more dynamic than we once thought. The presence of heat-driven geological activity suggests that the dwarf planet may harbor a subsurface ocean, or at least pockets of liquid water kept warm by internal processes like tidal heating or radioactive decay. This possibility, along with the presence of complex organic molecules which were also detected in the atmosphere, has raised the question: could there be the potential for life on Pluto, even in such extreme conditions? While it's unlikely that life as we know it could exist on Pluto's surface, the idea that there could be some form of microbial life beneath the icy shell is not completely out of the question. In fact, scientists have made similar hypotheses about moons in our solar system, such as Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, where liquid water is believed to exist beneath a thick ice crust, a new era of exploration. Pluto's reclassification from a planet to a dwarf planet in 2006 may have taken it out of the spotlight for a time, but the New Horizons mission revived interest in this distant object in the solar system. The wealth of data sent back from the probe has forever altered our understanding of Pluto and has inspired a new generation of astronomers and space enthusiasts. The stunning images of Pluto's surface, the discovery of its complex atmosphere, and the unexpected geological features have made it clear Pluto is anything but a frozen, lifeless rock in the far reaches of the solar system. As we continue to learn more about Pluto, the questions it raises will undoubtedly fuel further scientific inquiry. Is there life on Pluto? Could its icy oceans hold the key to understanding how life can survive in extreme environments? Will future missions reveal even more surprises? With ongoing research and the possibility of additional space missions to the outer solar system, Pluto is far from being a mystery solved. Rather, it's become a symbol of the power of exploration and the endless possibilities that await in the uncharted territories of space. As technology improves and new missions are planned, there is no telling what new revelations await us about this enigmatic world and the many others that inhabit our solar system. Conclusion: Pluto, the unexpected world. In conclusion, the story of Pluto is a perfect example of how science continually evolves, challenging our previous assumptions and expanding our understanding of the universe. From its reclassification as a dwarf planet to its fascinating portrayal as a dynamic and geologically active world, Pluto has surprised scientists at every turn. Its complex geology, mysterious atmosphere, and the potential for subsurface oceans make it an intriguing subject for future exploration. Whether or not Pluto will ever regain its status as the 9th planet in the solar system is still up for debate. But what is certain is that it has earned a place in the hearts and minds of many, both as a symbol of the unknown and as a beacon of scientific curiosity. The journey to better understand Pluto is far from over, and as our tools and technology continue to improve, the icy world at the edge of our solar system will undoubtedly continue to reveal its secrets. So, while we may never have all the answers about Pluto, we can rest assured that it will always remain a captivating enigma, sparking wonder and inspiring new discoveries for generations to come.